All of the prep that I did at the end of last year really set me up for success at the beginning of this year. And I know you've probably seen or heard the advice that you should prep some things for the beginning of the year. But if you're anything like me, when I first heard that, I was like, I change what I do every year, or I have no idea what I did at the beginning of last year because it was a whole school year ago. Well, I have a few tips of how I got started on making sure I was set up so that I could make copies and prepare a little bit at the end of the year to set me up for success in August. If you're new here, I'm Rachel Vincent, and I love sharing ways to help teachers simplify their classrooms and their teaching. So like I said, typically by the end of the year, I had no clue what I had done at the beginning of the year. Or I usually was just like, I want to do new ideas, but yes, I like to add in new ideas, but I usually don't change everything I'm doing. So the easiest way is to set yourself up for success now here in the beginning of the year. So the easiest thing, and it's how I got started, was I grabbed a folder and any copies that I made for the first week of school, I stuck in that folder and then just stuck this folder in my cabinet with my back to school books. So that made it really easy when I was like, you know, I don't have any more copies to make at the end of the year, but I still have some copy paper and I really don't want to be standing at the copier come August. So let me look through what I did copies of last year to see what I want to do again. And so a lot of the things are the same. A coloring page, a word search, a get to know you game or get to know you survey sheet, find someone who type of game, something you know that even if you decide not to include it in your back to school plans, it's a good idea to have an extra set in case you need it. That's how I started, was just making a simple folder, and it has sort of evolved over the years the better I got at preparing for the beginning of the year at the end of the year. Now I actually have a binder that I keep those things in. I have these awesome dividers that have a little pocket, and so that's where I keep them all. So now I have my first week of school, I have that in there so that I know exactly what I copied. But then I also have some like sort of extras that maybe I didn't use this year, but I just want to keep just in case. I have my back to school parent meet the teacher information page that I send here. This one has a lot of the things that I have already made as examples, or like wish list extra things, or how to sort supplies. If I have game pieces or game sheets that I only need for like certain groups, I have that as well. And then we are a Leader in Me school, so a lot of our beginning of the year is setting up their, making sure their leadership notebooks and things like that are good to go. So I have all those in there, so I know where to find them when I'm looking for them. Yes, I have it all digital too, but sometimes it's just easier to look through something physical to see here's exactly what I did, because so many times I just pick and pull from different resources and different things that I have all over the place. So having like, this is exactly what I copied for the first week of school in one pocket made it so much easier when it was time to go to make copies. You could even take it a step further and create a sort of back to school box. This is just one of those scrapbook organizers. I think it came from Michael's. I've just had it for many years. And in this, I actually will put my folder or my binder throughout the year so I know where it's at. But I also keep my back to school banner that I hang up. I have extra folders that I keep. And then if for some reason I needed to take something off the wall, I would put it in a bag like this. So this is from my old classroom. I never actually hung this back up. I ended up creating something different, so I could probably get rid of this at this point. But when I moved classrooms, I took like all my walls and put it down because I knew this is what would need to go back up. Obviously, I changed my mind. And then what I will also do is keep extra back to school night folders for a couple of reasons. One, if I have new students that come in after Meet the Teacher, I can send one of these home and have everything. But it also serves as a reminder of what I put in it, so I can prep that at the end of the year as well. So I know I can prep like our back to school brochures or the different forms I send home, or sometimes I save that for a summer project just because I'm not sure like my schedule and different things like that. But I have it all in one spot so I know where to find things. That way I'm able to quickly prep at the end of the year when my brain is teacher tired in May, but I do still want to kind of get ahead, or I can just bring this whole box home and work on different things over the summer. It's also a great place to store some of the extra things. I have a few extra like student numbers that I didn't need for our book boxes. So in case I do get student 26, I don't have to reprint these. I just stick them in here so I know where to find them. Another thing I do on my computer in my back to school folder is I create a folder for the current year. So I have a 25-26 back to school folder, and I will pull all of the different files and things that I use into that folder so I can find it again. So like one of the things that I always include are the paper inserts that for our Thursday folders. So that's a file in there. So I know I need to update it. And so it goes into that folder. I can also go back into that folder at the end of the school year to find different things I could work on and prep for the beginning of the year. Like in that folder also has all of my notebook tabs that I print and cut. This is one of the big things I always print at the end of the year, even more so than the copies, because this takes the longest. And oftentimes I have parents that want to help and have volunteers, and I already have them set up for the previous year, so I could send these home and have that done instead of having to try to find new volunteers and different things like that at the beginning of the year. So those are just ways that you can set yourself up for success now while it's still fresh on your brain. Go ahead, if you still have those copies and you're like, to file box, pull them out, put them in a folder, and put that folder someplace where you'll remember. I usually put it with my back to school books, or if you have a back to school box, and then do the same thing with your files. While it's still fresh on your mind, create a 25, 26 back to school folder and put all of the files you used during the past few weeks into there, so you know where to find all of those same resources if you want to do it again. If you're curious what I made copies of, what I actually planned for the first week of school, check out the video that is on your screen now.